तिम्रान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Just a minute. I will set up the audio. Recording, I forgot about it. Sorry. Anyway, this is the overview. So I'll just take a little. So we mentioned about Jiva Goswami's statement of how the rasa can be understood of the Bhagavatam only through the lens of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Prabhupada's quotations on the importance of studying Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And then just like in the ocean, there are 4 directions and there are waves. So similarly, there is the divisions done like this. And we are seeing that there is eastern, southern, western, and northern. And there are these waves, 4 waves in the eastern, 5 waves in the southern, 5 waves in the western, and 9 waves in the northern. Because there are 7 Gaun rasas, and there are 2 topics about how there can be mixture of rasas happening, Mukhya and Gaun, which is compatible, which is incompatible. So the first wave, as I mentioned, is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu introduction, preface and introduction. The introductory shloka, Vastu Nirdesh, definition of pure devotional service, 6 characteristics and qualification. The second wave is the biggest. There's the definition of sadhana bhakti, kriti sadhyat bhave sadhya, sa sadhana bidha, nitya siddhasya bhavasya, prakatyam riddhi sadhyata. And after defining sadhana bhakti, Rupa Goswami defines Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, qualifications for Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, Uttam, Madhyam, Kanishth, and how the mixed devotees also can become qualified to take up Shuddha Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Then rejection of bhukti and mukti. The highest qualification is Govinda Rit Manasa, one who has given his heart to Govinda. And rejection of varna and ashram is a qualification for bhakti. And then he defines what is the anga of bhakti. And the angas of bhakti are listed. And what are the angas of bhakti which are rejected for uttama bhakti? And ekanga and bahuanga. So it's very vast. Then he, as I mentioned, sadhana bhakti is divided into Vaidhi and Raganuga. So this is within sadhana now. And Vaidhi, the impetus is coming from following the rules and regulations as given by the spiritual master and Shastra. Raganuga impetus is out of intense greed. So Raganuga Bhakti is defined, and then Kama Rupa, Sambandha Rupa, qualifications for practicing Raganuga, and then Angas of Raganuga. And then types of Raganuga, Kamanuga and Sambandhanuga. So that's how the southern division, the eastern division, second wave, that is Sadhana Bhakti. The eastern division, third wave is Bhava Bhakti. So Rupa Goswami defines Bhava Bhakti and causes of Bhava Bhakti from sadhana, either Vaidhi or Raganuga, or mercy of a devotee. And then what are the Anubhavas of Bhava Bhakti? So there are these 9, symptoms of Bhava Bhakta. Beginning from Avyartha Kalatvam. No? Then what is Ratyabhas? It is a semblance of Bhava. It is not actually Bhava. And within that there is Pratibimba and Chaya. And how destruction of Bhavabhas and Bhava happens, and apparent faults in the Bhava Bhakta. Then the eastern division, fourth wave. The definition of Prema Bhakti, causes of Prema Bhakti from Vaidhi Bhava arising from Vaidhi Sadhana and from Raganuga Bhava arising from Raganuga Sadhana. And the cause can be Krishna's mercy, Mahatma Gyan Yukt for Vaidhi Bhaktas and Keval for Raganugas. And then stages leading to Prema, which is again quite in brief. Prema Bhakti is quite brief. So this is just a brief overview of the eastern division, first, second, third, and fourth wave, which you should be thorough to enter into the southern division. And here I'm just pointing out in your summary study of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, the complete science of Bhakti Yoga. So the introduction and characteristics of pure devotional service form the first wave, Samanya Bhakti. Then second chapter to 16th chapter is the second wave. And within that, second to 14 is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. 15 and 16 is Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. 17 and 18 chapters are the third wave, Bhava Bhakti. And only 19th chapter is devotional service in pure love of God, that is Prema Bhakti. And this is completely constituting the eastern section, which is part of your Bhakti Shastri. Now, just because in the Bhakti Shastri we study only the eastern division, it doesn't mean that we should not study the southern division and the western division and the northern division. In fact, many devotees never attempt to study the entire 51 chapters, which is there in the summary study, or the entire 4 divisions of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. How many of you in the audience have studied the entire Prabhupada's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 51 chapters? At least read once. Raise your hands. I would like to see. How many of you have read at least once? Not even one. So we should, at least once, read this. At least once you just go through it at least once. Fast reading also is okay, I feel. So we should do that. So I hope this summary of the southern division, the eastern division is a little clear. Now let's come to the southern section, which is our course which we are going to start from today, defining the components of rasa. This is by Sri Rupa Goswami. We will be looking into Srila Prabhupada's NOD summary study. We'll be mainly studying the Durgama Sangamini Tika, the commentary called Resolving the Difficult of Srila Jiva Goswami, and the Bhakti Sara Pradarshani Tika, the commentary called Revealing the Essence of Bhakti of Srila Vishwanath Thakur. In fact, as we will be studying this work of Rupa Goswami with Prabhupada, Jiva Goswami, and Vishwanath Thakur, I will be also bringing up some certain important concepts in between, which are again from the works of Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his various books like Jaiva Dharma, Bhakti Tattva Vivek, many other works, and also from Vishwanath Chandra Thakur here and there. I'll be bringing out that. Today, I think we might not come there. Maybe tomorrow we'll come to that concept of rasa. Okay, so as I mentioned, that the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu is yes, it is having the southern division is having 5 waves, and we saw that. I'll share again once again. In fact, I had made the slide, but I don't know where it went. So the southern division has 5 waves: Vibhav, Anubhava, Satviki Bhav, Vyabhichari Bhav, and Stahi Bhav. So first chapter is Vibhav. So today we are going to begin with Vibhav, the first wave in the southern division concerning Vibhav. Now, for your kind information, these 5 chapters, Vibhava, Anubhava, Satviki Bhav, Vyabhichari Bhav, and Stahi Bhav, this constitutes the southern division, among which Vibhav is the biggest. There are around 385 verses, practically 50% of Bhagavad Gita. You can imagine, Vibhav is quite huge. And practically, I think the next 3 months, we will be only discussing Vibhav. Anubhav is very short, and we will be finishing in maybe 2-3 classes. Then, after that is Satviki Bhavs. Again, that is a little elaborate. Vyabhichari Bhav is also quite, I think it is the second biggest after Vibhav, and then Stahi Bhav. So Satviki Bhav, Stahi Bhav are more or less, I don't know, 100, 150 verses. But Vyabhichari Bhav is still a little longer, maybe 280 verses, something like that. Anubhav is just maybe 50 verses or something like that. But Vibhav is around 385 or 384 verses. So Vibhav is the biggest. So I feel 3 months will go in Vibhav, and the entire other 3 months will go in the other 4 waves. So that's what is our plan. If we go systematically, in the next 6 months, we will be able to complete the syllabus. Okay, now this is just the table of contents of Vibhav, just a Vibhav. The first chapter is cause of Bhakti Ras and the components of Rasa: Vibhav, Anubhav, Satvik Vibhav, Vyabhichari Bhav, Stahi Bhav. And then definition of Vibhav. There is Alamban and Uddipan. And don't worry anything about it now, because we will be going into it. Each of this is just the table of contents. Krishna is the Vishay. The first is other forms, expanding as cowherd and calf, and Swarup disguised as well as undisguised. Then the qualities of Krishna as components of Vishay. There are the 64 qualities, and then the 4 extraordinary qualities. Then the Krishna is Purnatama in Vraja, Purnatara in Mathura, and Purna in Dwarka. And Krishna in his 4 aspects. Krishna in his 4 aspects. I'm sharing the screen. I'm sharing the screen. Okay. Yeah. And then Krishna in his four aspects as a hero, Nayak. Again, we'll go into this. Dhirodatta, Dhiro Lalita, Dhira Prashanta, and Dhirodhata. And then there are Krishnas. Sorry. Okay. Krishna has eight auspicious qualities. These are all, Vishay means the object of love, which, we get attracted. So what are those things in Krishna which we get attracted? So devotee as ashray, there is again a type by attainment, sadhaka, siddha. In siddha there is samprapta and nitya siddha by sadhana and mercy. Again, we'll go into all this detail. Then by rasa, shanta, dasya, sakya, vatsal, madhurino. And then within Vibhav, there is Uddipan. That means these are things related to Krishna which attract us towards Krishna, like Krishna's flute, Krishna's, peacock feather. So one is Krishna's qualities, which attract us, his bodily age, beauty, form, softness, verbal, mental, Krishna's actions, Krishna's clothing, Krishna's accessories, hairstyle, garland, tilak, tambul, lotus, Krishna's ornament, smile. Smile is very attractive. Fragrance, flute, horns, anklets, conch, footprints, places, tulsi, devotees, festival days. So all this we will be studying one by one. So don't worry that it is a huge syllabus. We will go step by step, bite by bite, and you will get it. Not to worry. Now, this southern division, Nectar of Devotion, is chapters 20 to 34 in the summary study of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu's southern section of Srila Rupa Goswami. So you can imagine chapters 1 to 19 is Eastern Division, and then 20 to 34. Practically, it's a big chunk of the components of rasa, defining the components of rasa. And as I was mentioning, just like the Eastern Division is the foundation to the entire Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the Southern Division is the foundation to the entire Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu science, rasa, Bhakti Ras. It is the foundation to Bhakti Ras. In fact, without understanding the components and the science of rasa, we cannot enter into the Western Division and the Northern Division. So that's why it is kept as, Rupa Goswami chose that as the Central Division, Southern Division. He kept it as the Southern Division. Now, in Srila Prabhupada's Nectar of Devotion, there's 5 components of rasa with English terms are used. Vibhav, he says ecstatic excitance, causes of ecstasy. These are chapters 20 to 26, as I mentioned. Anubhav, Prabhupada says ecstatic expressions, subsequent ecstasy, he says. So Vibhav is causes of ecstasy, and Anubhav, Prabhupada uses the term subsequent ecstasy. And as we study these definitions, you will become, familiar with Prabhupada's terminology, why Prabhupada used these terminologies, because that's how we can at best understand in English. So he said Anubhav as subsequent ecstasy. Bhav is ecstasy. Anu means following. So subsequent ecstasy. Satviki Bhav, involuntary ecstatic expressions. And he calls them as existential ecstasy, because it is at the soul's at the constitutional platform. And then Vyabhichari Bhav as transient ecstasies, ecstatic disturbances, aggressive ecstasy, he calls it. So this is only one chapter, 28, and Anubhav is chapter 27. And as mentioned, Vyabhichari Bhav is a little more elaborate, 29 to 31. Sthayi Bhav is also a little elaborate. Permanent ecstatic mood, that is continuous ecstasy, Sthayi Bhav, chapters 32, 34. So this is how Prabhupada has termed this, and this is how you can see this in your Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu summary study. That's what Prabhupada has given the English equivalents for this work. Just a minute, I will have to change the connection. Okay. Okay, now let me see where we are. Okay, before I now begin with Vibhav, do you have any questions up till now what we have discussed? Do you have any questions? Raise your hands. I'll just today begin only the introductory verses. Tomorrow is very important. Kindly don't miss it. Because if you miss tomorrow, then you will be never able to enter into the Southern Division at all. So don't miss tomorrow's class. Make sure that you can be there. Don't miss tomorrow's class. Because we'll be giving the overview of the entire science and concept of rasa. But up till now, anyone has any questions? Raise your hands. Okay, one. Anyone else? Yes, Dr. Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is a very basic question. What should be our frame of mind to understand this huge, humongous knowledge of rasa?
In fact, we are all continuously at every moment experiencing rasa. Continuously. The living being cannot live without rasa. The jiva is now relishing material rasas in the form of sense objects and in the relationships in this world, whether it is dasya with servants, sakya with friends, and vatsalya with children, and madhurya with the lover and beloved. So the jiva cannot live without rasa, and we don't know that actually we are relishing rasa. So uh, it is very familiar to us, and only thing we have not recognized it and understood because we don't know that science. So Rupa Goswami is going to, uniquely reveal it, and it will be understood. Not to worry. We have to just, be in the discussion. That's it. You know, to give you an example, when you see drama, there is so much emotions happening. There is the fearful thing, some frightful personality is there, and you're experiencing some emotion there. Oh, such a horrifying thing. And then there is laughter, the hasiras. So all these emotions, what you're experiencing, Rup Goswami is giving the whole science of it so that you can have a deeper experience. But Rup Goswami is not giving the science of material rasas, but he's giving the spiritual rasa in relationship to Krishna, which we are not having any understanding now. We are experiencing that also, and that's why still we are in bhakti. So when we study this work, then we can have a better experience, a deeper experience by which we can go deeper in Krishna consciousness. So just stay tuned and try to attend the discussions submissively and start studying, and then a new world will open up. Prabhupada said his BBT pictures are like the windows to the spiritual world. Similarly, the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu study will open to you an entirely different world of seeing this whole world, seeing everything from the viewpoint of rasa. Is it okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Hare
Any
Krishna.
other questions anyone has? Okay, so I'll just today begin with the introduction to Vibhav, the Southern Division, and tomorrow we will discuss the concept of rasa. Now, concerning Vibhav, the first part is cause of Bhakti Ras. How does Bhakti Ras, what is Bhakti Ras? What is the cause of Bhakti Ras? Rupa Goswami starts. Now, as I mentioned, we are going into the original work of Rupa Goswami. That is, Rupa Goswami actually wrote the verses, 2,700 and 172 verses. Verses with translation, of course. And Jeev Goswami and Vishwanath Chakra Thakur later on wrote commentaries on this work. And Prabhupada, in his summary study, these verses he is paraphrasing, and you should be also able to map while you're studying the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu summary study with now Banu Maharaj, who has translated these books. And I would recommend everyone should buy these books. Okay, let's go through the verse. Prabalam mananyashayina nishevita sahaja rupena agadamano maturayam sada sanatana tano jayati. May the eternal form of Krishna, Sanatan Tanu, Sanatan means eternal, Tanu means the form. Killer of Agasura, Agadamano, served strongly by his natural beauty, Prabalam Ananya Shrayana Nishevita, which is attractive even without ornaments and which is non-different from his very self. Sahaja Rupena, remain with all attractive features eternally in the district of Mathura. Jayati Mathurayam Sada. There's another translation. May Sanatan Goswami, because Sanatan Tanu can refer to Sanatan Goswami, who conquers all sins. Aga Damano. Aga means also sin. Agasur is a personified form of sin, demon of sin, and is served with devotion by his younger brother Rup Goswami. Nishevita Sahaja Rupena. So Sahaja Rupena means he's being served by Rup Goswami because Rup Goswami considered Sanatan Goswami as his spiritual master, who has taken shelter of him alone. Prabalam Ananya Shaina. I have taken your shelter. Remain eternally in Mathura district. Jayati Mathuram Sada. So Sanatan Goswami, please remain in Mathura district and conquer our sins because I am serving you with devotion. I am taking your shelter. Very beautiful verse. So this is the Mangalacharan verse. And there's no commentary by both the acharyas, but Prabhupada in his summary study mentions, in this second division of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the author offers his respectful obeisances unto Sanatan. This Sanatan can be interpreted as either Sri Krishna himself or as Sanatan Goswami, the elder brother and the spiritual master of Rupa Goswami. This is based on these both translations. In the case where Sanatan is accepted to mean Sri Krishna, the obeisances are offered to Krishna because he is naturally so beautiful and because he is the killer of demon Aga. Prabhupada is just explaining the translation. If it is interpreted to mean Sanatan Goswami, then it is because he is so greatly favored by Rupa Goswami, being always served by him, and because he is the annihilator of all kinds of sinful activities. That's how Prabhupada is just explaining the translation. Text 2. Rasamritabder bhagesmin द्वितीये दक्षिणाभिधे सामान्य भगवत भक्ति रसस धावद udirayate. The second part of the sweet ocean of rasa, rasa amrit abdi. Rasa means, I mentioned, bhakti is rasa. It's the ocean of rasa. And the science of rasa was brought by Rupa Goswami. Bhakti ras. Bhakti as a rasa, this concept is only unique in the Gaudiya tradition, not in other traditions, for your kind information. So the sweet ocean of rasa, rasa amrita abdi, abdi is ocean. Bhagasmin dvitiye, the second part, is called as a southern section, Dakshina Abhide. It is called as a section. It describes Tavad Udirate, the general rasas within devotion to the Lord. Samanya Bhagavad Bhakti Ras. So the southern division is Samanya Bhagavad Bhakti Ras. I hope it is clear. Prabhupada. In this division of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the author wants to describe the general symptoms of transcendental mellow, loving mood of discharging devotional service. That's it, Prabhupada says. Text 3. Asya panchalahara syur vibhavakya grima mata Vitya tu anubhavakya tritiya satvika bidha Vabhicharya bidha turya sthahi sangya cha panchami. There are 5 waves. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Is the audio Clear or no?
Yes, Prabhuji, it is clear.
Clear. Okay. I think if sometimes there is something wrong, you can always raise your hands also. I usually keep all the participants in mute so that there's no background disturbance. There are 5 waves or chapters in the southern section of the ocean. Asya Pancha Laharisyo. The first deals with Vibhav. Vibhavakya Grimi Grima Mata. The second with Anubhav, Vitayatu Anubhavakya. And the third with Satvik Bhav, Tiritiya Satvik Abhidha. And the fourth with Vyabhichari Bhav, Vyabhichari Abhidha Turya. And the fifth with Stahi Bhav, Stahi Sangya Cha Panchami. Now, Prabhupada also makes the same point. In this division of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there are 5 general topics: Vibhav, Anubhav, Satviki Bhav, Vyabhichari Bhav, Stahi Bhav. Now, kindly note down Prabhupada's uh, terminology: special symptoms or causes of ecstasy. Especially remember causes of ecstasy. Anubhav as subsequent ecstasy, Satviki as constitutional or existential ecstasy, and Vyabhichari Bhav as aggressive ecstasy, and Stahi Bhav as continuous ecstasy. Kindly note down these terms. And here, again, I'm just giving the overview here: Vibhav, Anubhav, Satviki Bhav, Vyabhichari Bhav, Stahi Bhav. And these are the 5 waves, which Prabhupada is also noting. Okay, now the second topic, components of rasa. He said, na, in this there are 5 waves, vibhavs. So what are these components of rasa? Vibhav, Anubhav, Satviki Bhav, Vyabhichari Bhav, and Stahi Bhav. So what are these? Now, I'll be tomorrow taking the concept of rasa and overview from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's extract from Prem Pradeep, which describes these components of rasa, the concept. And then I will go to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu so that you can understand what Rupa Goswami is saying when we actually study the verses. So tomorrow is a very important topic, and without understanding this concept of rasa, it will be a little difficult for you to understand this subject. So tomorrow, stay tuned, be on time, and participate in this discussion. Tomorrow, entire class will be on this only. And maybe if time permits, then we will go into the verses. So today in the overview, we discussed how important it is for devotees to study the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Eastern Division. We saw Prabhupada quotation, study once, twice, thrice, repeatedly, and it is a very important book. We saw Jiva Goswami explaining what Rupa Goswami has given, the entire Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and is a lens by which we can enter into the Bhagavatam. So, Bhakti the Bhagavatam is like the thesis. And, if you read a thesis, PhD thesis, what you'll understand? You'll have to first study books, textbooks. So after studying textbooks and understanding all the definitions, then you can understand a thesis. Similarly, Bhagavatam is a thesis, and without the textbook Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, you cannot enter into the whole exchange of spiritual rasa happening between Krishna and his devotees, and especially in the 10th canto. So we saw the importance that we should study the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Eastern Division repeatedly. And I request all the devotees to start studying this now only. And over a period of, say, this year, if you can finish once, and by this year, we'll be finishing the Southern Division, then both together will go like a parallel track and you'll be able to better understand. And then we had an overview discussion on the entire Eastern Division, which has 4 waves. Uttama Bhakti, characteristics of Uttama Bhakti is defined in first wave. Second wave, Sadhana Bhakti, Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, Radharana Sadhana Bhakti. And the third wave is Bhava Bhakti. And the fourth wave is Prema Bhakti. And then we began with the Southern Division, which has 5 waves, starting with Vibhav. And we just saw some introductory verses. And tomorrow we will begin with the components of rasa. What are these 5 rasas? Vibhav, Anubhav, Satviki Bhav, Sanchari Bhav, and Sthahi Bhav. Tomorrow we'll go into the concept of rasa. Again, anyone has any questions up till now? One, two. Okay. Yes, Dr. Archana Mataji.
Prabhuji, as you said, answered my question. What should be our frame of mind while studying this particular Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu? So, I just would like to understand, with the help of this knowledge, when we are submerged in the ocean of rasas, and in day-to-day life, we experience the same bhava with other person. So are we, I mean, is it possible that with this knowledge and with this experience, we able to understand the God which is sitting in the heart of other person's heart?
Yes, that's what this whole science of rasa will, first of all, we'll be able to understand and distinguish between material rasas and spiritual rasas, first thing. Secondly, we'll be able to understand, more deeply when somebody expresses things through words, but what emotions are going in the heart, he's expressing that. So you'll be able to not only hear the words, but you'll be able to go into their heart and, understand what is their emotions actually. So this will give a deeper understanding of the personality. Yes, definitely it'll happen. And another thing, what is going to happen is, just like, fear is an emotion, sadness is an emotion, guilt is an emotion. So these material emotions lock us in material existence. And by understanding the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, especially the southern division, which is completely unlocking the whole rasa science in different relationships of Shant, Dasya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. By understanding this, you will be able to experience a different level of existence. You'll be able to distinguish between material rasas and spiritual rasas, and you'll be able to experience. And spiritual life is a matter of experience, and that is what you know it will open. The gates will open for that. Okay, Vinita Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
The book I am having, Nectar of Devotion,
Mhm.
is not having the Sanskrit version that you have spoken right now.
Yeah, as I mentioned, Prabhupada wrote a summary study to the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
Okay.
Summary study means the verse is there. The verse itself, he is paraphrasing. We saw the verse. I'll just give an example again. I'll just go back to the slides. You can see this is the verse. Prabalam Ananya Shrena Nishevita Sahaja Rupen. This is the translation. Now, Prabhupada is in his Nectar of Devotion, he is paraphrasing this like this.
Yeah.
This is the entire paragraph. One paragraph is paraphrasing that verse because it is a
So,
summary study. It is a summary
okay.
study.
So only doing the
So
paraphrase
Prabhupada
will
did
work,
not give
right?
a verse by verse commentary, a translation, and a commentary.
So Prabhuji, doing this summary study is enough for us, right? Or we
No,
have to refer to that also.
no. Just like, Prabhupada gave, the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, which is like a summary study of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are 5 important conversations. Rupa, Rup Samvad, Sanatan Samvad, Prakashan Samvad, Sarvabhaum Samvad, and Rai Ramanam Samvad. He gave it in the beginning because he wanted devotees to relish CC. So that's why he initially published these important books like the Krishna book, summary study, the Nectar of Devotion summary study, and the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. He all published them to give his devotees, the taste of Bhakti Ras. But later on, Prabhupada translated the Chaitanya Charitamrita full work. So, because Prabhupada has given summary study teachings of Lord Chaitanya, I will not study Chaitanya Charitamrita. No, you have to study Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because Prabhupada has given summary study Krishna book, I will not study the 10th canto. I have to study the verse by verse 10th canto. Similarly, we need to also study both the summary study many times and then the actual verse with the Acharya's commentaries, which is now available, translated by Manu Maharaj. Is it clear, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Any other questions anyone has? Okay, so today just was an introduction. Tomorrow we will actually begin the southern division more in detail, and especially the concept of rasa. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai. Hare Krishna.